to go. Me and technology.
Go.
Okay, so here we are, Katrina and Renee, the two healthy hens. So today we have decided to talk about coffee and wine. We're going to do an episode on wine coming up soon, but we thought we would do a coffee one today. So let's talk the do's, the don'ts, the good, the bads, and the uglies, all about the coffees. So I want to start.
Go for it.
I think we're just going to kind of throw out some fun facts for you all about coffee. And then we'll talk about how to quit coffee, why you should drink coffee, the health benefits of coffee, and a couple other fun facts in there. So that's how this is going to go. All right. So coffee, just to let you know, personally, I use coffee as a pre-workout. So it is part of my morning ritual. And I say ritual because it's more than just a routine. It thrives my soul. Like if I don't have coffee to get me started in the morning, I know when you wake up, like your cortisol levels are really high and you should have water and then maybe, go for a walk or do some meditation or do an activity and then have your coffee later. But that makes me angry and that's okay. So my morning ritual, like I wake up for my coffee, it gets me out of bed and that first, sip, it's just pure bliss. It's my joy. So I use coffee in the morning to as a pre-workout and B, get me going. I am not very, like the motor is not running without the coffee. So 1 cup of coffee has between 75 and 150 milligrams of caffeine. And this caffeine occurs naturally in the coffee and is enhanced in the roasting process. So that is what actually provides the caffeine inside your coffee in the bean, right? It's how it's roasted. And so we're going to get into the better coffees. Personally, I always drink organic coffee and I drink it black. And so people, you can hear the controversy of hot coffee is good for you, coffee is bad for you. Coffee is bad for you if A, you drink too much. What is too much? And then B, it's all of the stuff that you put into your coffee. And sometimes, I watch some people make coffee. I'm like, that's pudding. Like you're not even drinking coffee anymore with the amount of cream and sugar you're putting into that puppy. You're not drinking coffee. Like you'd be better off to go and just get some caffeine pills because you're not actually drinking coffee anymore. So a beautiful dark roast, hot black coffee. I have a saying I'm going to share with you, my 3 favorites. The way I like my coffee, my showers, and my men, hot. Hot coffee, hot showers, hot man. Okay. Anyway, so some health benefits of coffee. Why I use it as a pre-workout. Caffeine stimulates the nervous system and the brain, and it fights fatigue and increases athletic performance. It can also help ease headache and migraine pain. I've had that, like sometimes I get like hormonal headaches and lack of caffeine headaches, but more so it'll take the edge off of headaches. So it does have some health benefits in there if you're drinking a organic roasted bean. Coffee is loaded with antioxidants and made of quinones, which are more potent after roasting. Magnesium is found naturally in coffee, and when combined with the quinones, it lowers your blood sugar and may also lower the risk of type 2 diabetes. So there's a little healthy trick there. Coffee contains the antibacterial compound, trigonelline. Trigo has sounded French. Trigonelline. Oh my God. Trigonelline. So that can help prevent dental cavities. And this compound becomes more pronounced during the roasting and is also responsible for giving coffee its aroma. And
I'm going to say something about the aroma. So my partner,
yes,
he does not drink coffee, but he loves the aroma.
Yes.
Whenever I make coffee, he's like, let me smell your coffee. But then
that's all we need.
It's the same. It's so funny, but that aroma, sorry, I interrupted, but that aroma is the best. Oh.
Yes. I know it's part of the morning ritual. The house smells like coffee in the morning. Yep. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, so a little trick if you want to, at Christmas time, I'll sprinkle cinnamon into my beans, but into the coffee. I don't like to have cinnamon in my coffee, like in the cup. But if you put it into the beans that's already ground, and then it drips when it's being made, like it filters through. If you put a teaspoon, you just need a teaspoon. If you're making a pot of coffee, just use a teaspoon of cinnamon. Your house smells like Christmas morning. And your coffee, like I drink my coffee black, so it does kind of give it a bit more of a flavor. And if you're using organic cinnamon is a natural blood sugar stabilizer as well. So it just kind of sets your day to waking you up, giving you a little bit of a boost and stabilizing your blood sugar levels with or without the cinnamon, but the cinnamon just enhances a little bit more. Researchers have actually also found a strong correlation between coffee and its potential preventative measure of Parkinson's disease. Again, we're talking about organic roasted coffee here, okay? Not Tim Hortons. I swear there's something in Tim Hortons coffee, because if I ever do get stuck drinking that, oh my God, I'm high for hours.
Well, and the thing is, for those that aren't Canadian or live in the North US, they may not know what Tim Hortons is, because I'm a US citizen that moved to Canada, and it's like, what's Tim Hortons? And what's a triple triple or a double double? And that's a Canadian thing. So like, our coffee regular is actually coffee with cream and sugar. Some people may not know that, right?
Yeah, there's all of your different lingos. I mean, and then when you get to your Starbucks, you have your grandes and ventis.
Yes, but at least Starbucks is worldwide. Tim Hortons not so much, but
Fair enough.
But Tim Hortons is a staple here in Canada. So if you don't know what it is, it's a coffee shop. Tim Horton was a hockey player, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yes. Yeah. And then he started his franchise. But the quality of coffee, highly addictive, not healthy for you. I don't know how they roast their beans.
Yeah, I used to like it, but I find it's too bitter for me now.
Well, and I know so many people, it either causes diarrhea or massive headaches. And now, like, I don't drink it, but if I am stuck and I'm like, oh, I really need a coffee, and I go and I'll just get a black coffee. Oh my God, I can feel it, like the serotonin. It just kind of takes over, and it literally, like, I can feel my head just woo, and I'm like, wow. And then the verbal diarrhea starts. Then it's like, okay, we are revved to go. So, okay, just a couple more health benefits. Coffee can also, it lowers the incidence of liver cancer and liver disease. So researchers noted a reduction of liver cancer risk by about 50% in those who drank 3 cups of coffee a day. Coffee showed an ability to reduce alcoholic cirrhosis by about 22%, and coffee consumption reduced mortality from cirrhosis due to alcohol by 66%. So liver disease, would be drinking an organic black bean coffee. And I think, yeah, so it says, okay, it says, I say, a question you may wonder, if coffee is so healthy, then why aren't we seeing the benefits? And I kind of rewind to what I said at the beginning, because A, it's the quality of coffee you're drinking, and B, what you're putting into the coffee. Okay, we should be drinking coffee, not fake pudding or all of the other amazing chemicals that you can put into your coffee to make it taste not like coffee anymore. So coffee can be good, can be very beneficial for your body, your organs, your athletic performance, your morning ritual. And Renee, I'll let you take it away.
Oh, okay.
Your turn.
Okay, so what are we talking about? So we're going to talk about what we're putting in, or are we going to talk about?
Well, I guess I could talk about the quality of coffee, like so the best type of coffee to drink, while we're talking about that organic, properly roasted.
You mentioned organic. You want to make sure that there's no pesticides in it, of course, right? It shows up on many lists of products that are very high in pesticides. So you want to actually make sure that your coffee has the least amount of pesticides possible, because pesticides, as you know, are linked to cancer and endocrine and neurological disorders, right? So choose, as Katrina mentioned numerous times, choose organic, right? There's a lot of organic coffees out there now. It is typically more expensive.
And fair trade,
right? Like your health is important too, right? So, and I don't know if you mentioned this already, or maybe we mentioned it offline,
I
but
think we
you
talked
want,
about it offline. Yeah.
yeah, you want to make sure you're getting like coffee that is shade grown. It's grown
Yes.
in a manner that protects the rainforests, right? Shade grown coffee farmers plant their coffee crops under another crop, such as avocados or citrus trees. And, you know, a lot of people tout that this type of coffee is more robust and flavorful than the full sun grown counterparts. You also want to make sure it's fair trade, right? Because, you know, fair trade was created in an effort to promote a more amicable trading environment to ensure that the producers in developing countries are paid a fair price for these products while increasing sustainability. So you want to make sure you buy fair trade. And then there's another certification called UTZ, and it signifies that the coffee was grown under fair labor practices with as little chemical application as possible. And it's traceable from farmer to roaster to consumer, and emphasizes transparency. So those are just some of the things you want to look at when you're looking at buying coffee. And if you know, for me, it's like, I can tell the difference between a really good coffee and a not so good coffee. It's like, I've gotten to the point where it's like, no, I should say, I actually drink Nespresso because it's just so much easier. So I have the little pods, but I do have my little coffee beans as well with a French press, and I love it. And, you know, it just tastes so good when you have really high quality coffee. I drink mine black as well. And not to digress, but Katrina and I both do reset programs, 21-day reset. And I find after I give up coffee during my reset, I always go back. I don't drink a lot of caffeine. I drink 1 cup of caffeinated coffee a day. And then if I feel like a second cup, then I drink a decaf. But I'll tell you, when I go off coffee for a while and then go back on it, oh my God, it's like divine. It tastes so good. And I find that I don't need as much coffee, but I still, for just like you, Katrina, it's the ritual. It's that first sip in the morning. It's my time of the day. My morning is my morning. I don't do work before a certain time of the day. I don't take clients before a certain time of the day. It's my time. I have my coffee. I do my puzzles. I read the news. I do whatever I want to do for me. And then I go work out. And then I'm ready to start the day with everything else. So
what brand of coffee do you drink?
Well, when it's not Nespresso, like I have this Nespresso machine, I love the Dark Horse coffee.
Like Kicking Horse?
Oh, sorry, Kicking Horse. Dark Horse is a bar near me. Sorry.
That's another show.
That's another show. Kicking Horse, yes. What I love about Kicking Horse is they have a good half calf and they have a good decaf, and it's still all dark roast because I'm a big into dark roast.
Yeah,
coffee.
like the full bodied coffee.
Yeah, so I like their half-ass coffee, which is half decaf, half regular, and then they have the decaf as well.
But espresso, like what kind of espresso do you buy?
It's Nespresso with the N.
Oh, Nespresso. Okay, sorry. I thought you were like, I just buy espresso. I'm like, yeah, I know you buy espresso. What is it? Nespresso.
No,
okay.
Nespresso. Like I have the machine with the pods. I used to do Keurig a long time ago, but I found that I wasn't able to find decent coffee with it. It just wouldn't produce good enough coffee for me. But Nespresso, I found, has done a really good job on. I had the original espresso machine from them, and now they have the Virtuo, which is like the full cups, and you can still do the espresso with them. And I love them, and I love it because I can have different flavors, and I'm making 1 cup at a time. It's not very as environmentally friendly, but I don't drink as much coffee. I actually got rid of my coffee machine because I don't need to make a pot of coffee because my partner doesn't drink coffee. And nobody in my household really drinks coffee except me. So, yeah.
I had to actually, when I started the reset like years ago and first, kind of weed myself off of it, always go back to coffee. And I was like, why do I do this? Because I'm never going to quit coffee. I love my coffee. But what I found is that I was starting to get heartburn. So I would go off coffee to alleviate the heartburn. And it took me a while to pinpoint. I'm like, what is causing the heartburn? But then what I did is I changed my brand of coffee. And so I too switched to the Kicking Horse. And I've been on Kicking Horse for probably maybe 6 months, maybe 8 months now. But I have to be very careful with, I can handle Starbucks. So I'll get an espresso from Starbucks, like I'll have an Americano. Or I can do, like a latte, as long as it's an almond milk latte, because they use the espresso in the latte. But I can't do Tim Hortons. I can't do, I think there's Folgers, some of the other, I would buy like a Kirkland, like no name brand. I've tried a lot of like different coffees, and all of them were giving me heartburn. And so I was having this horrid moment of, realization, do I have to quit coffee for good? But it was just navigating through this horrible experience of spending all this money and then finally narrowing it down to, I also have a local coffee house that's here in Oromocto. It's called the Sour Grape, and they have the Shade Tree roasted beans as well. And so I will buy coffee from them every now and again, supporting local. And I know that it's organic because I asked the owner, and that will not give me heartburn. But I know right away the quality of coffee, by my body will scream to me, no, that's not it.
Yeah,
So,
I was off coffee for a long time, many years, but I realized I'm like, no, I kind of like it.
Yes.
I kind of.
And I never started drinking coffee until after I became a mother. So I only ever drank tea, but I am noticing now, this is a little side note. So tea, you can drink leaves or you can drink herbs. When I drink herbs, no problem. But if I drink leaves, I start to get like, some of it will upset my stomach, and sometimes I get the heartburn from the leaves. So unfortunately, like Earl Grey, oh my God, I love Earl Grey, but again, it will give me heartburn. So I can do the bean and I can drink herb tea, but I can't drink the leaves. But it took me a while but this is why we do the reset. This is why we are body detectives, and we are decoding what our body's saying. And so heartburn, what is the culprit? And you have to play detective with your body to find that out. So I know I can do my herbs and my beans. Anyway, little side note. So how would one get off coffee? If you're like, you know what, I don't need it, I'm a little addicted, how do I mitigate the headaches? Oh, the headaches, they're screamers. I would not survive if I was stranded on an island. Let me tell you, I would die from a headache.
Well, exactly. And I haven't had a caffeine headache in I don't know how long, because I used to give up caffeine when I was pregnant. So I was pregnant twice. I had 2 kids. And every time I got pregnant, I'm like, all right, off the coffee. And I I'd go to work and go into the office, and I'd have my Tylenol, Advil bottle on, because it was like, I know I'm going to have the headache.
Yeah.
But it's actually, before I go into how you should quit, if you want to quit, there are reasons why you may want to as well. Like if you have adrenal fatigue, that's something that you should actually consider, is because it can actually exacerbate that problem of having adrenal fatigue. Or if you have a blood sugar imbalance, right? Because caffeine forces the liver to release the glycogen into the blood, creating that blood sugar increase. So if you have adrenal fatigue, if you have blood sugar imbalance, if you're pregnant, whatever, or you're having fertility issues, it may be something you want to consider. If you have anything, urinary issues, that could be an issue as well. And then any heart conditions or trouble absorbing vitamins and minerals, that's another thing you should consider as well. I won't go into it, but just consider that. And that may be one of the reasons why you want to quit coffee. But there's a couple ways you can do it. So I usually give my clients 2 options, based on days, right? So, you can say day 1, you have your usual amount of coffee. And then day 2 through day 5, you want to start blending your coffee with a decaf coffee. And preferably that decaf should be organic and whatever, right? Like what we talked about. And then day 6, blend your coffee with only 25% caffeine and 75% decaf. And then day 7, start drinking pure decaf, or even switch to green tea or something. So that's one option. Or you
Green
can
tea
just,
still has caffeine, just
it
less
does.
caffeine.
Exactly. And then another option is to gradually just remove your coffee until you're consuming only hot water. So you keep adding water to your coffee. I'm not a big fan of this because I like my big bold coffees. It wouldn't work for me. I'm more of the half calf kind of person. But if you like a light type of coffee, this may work for you. You can just gradually keep adding more and more water into your coffee every day until you're at, very little caffeine or very little coffee and a lot of water. And then really just try to switch to hot water with lemon. Additional strategies is switching to tea, right? As we mentioned, green tea does have caffeine, but it's about 25 milligrams of caffeine
As
instead
opposed to
of
like
the
75.
75 to 150, as Katrina mentioned in the beginning. And ginseng in your tea can help keep you in balance during that caffeine withdrawal. So if you are drinking tea, make sure you get some ginseng in there.
Have you ever
and
switched? Have you ever used that Dandy blend?
No,
There's
I
a
don't like, I
Dandy.
don't like any, like there are coffee substitutes like
Yeah.
Ticino
And
I've
those
tried them all.
the mushroom coffee.
The mushroom one, I tried them all. They are not coffee. I hate to say it. They are not a substitute for coffee in my case. Like I couldn't do it, but I've heard, because I have people on the Reset that have done it and they have found.
Yeah, I've had that
decent
too, but for
alternates.
me, I can't do it. I've spent a lot of money trying coffee alternatives and I'm just like, oh no.
Yeah.
So,
And I'm not one to drink tea in the morning. I could drink tea. I love my tea. I love my traditional medicinals tea. I have a whole pantry. I swear I should work for them because I literally own every one of their teas, but they don't work for me in the morning. I like my coffee. I like that big bold cup, and tea just doesn't do it for me. So I can do hot water with lemon or hot water with a little bit of the apple cider vinegar or plain hot water. Not a problem, but the tea just doesn't do it. But that's the thing. If you can switch to teas, like you said, the dandy tea or dandelion tea, it does taste a little bit like coffee and adds benefits because it cleanses your liver as well. Right. So you can try the Ticino, which is made with barley, but has really, it could work for you. And if you are giving it up, you want to make sure you're drinking at least 6 to 8 glasses of water a day. It helps keep you hydrated and helps you eliminate, especially if you're, tend to be constipated. And make sure you get your sleep every night, because if you're going off the coffee, you're going to be a little more tired. So you're going to have to make sure that you're making up for it. Do your exercise, even if you can only fit in 20 to 30 minutes. It'll do wonders for your energy if you are feeling that the energy is down because you're not getting that caffeine. Make sure you're eating high quality protein, fat, and fiber to keep your blood sugars level and your energy level, right? Because if you're getting rid of caffeine for those couple of weeks, it's going to be a little bit tough, right? So and then avoid eating until you're completely full. Try not to eat we talk about eating to 80%, the hunger scale,
hunger
or
scale.
the fullness scale. So, overeating creates that tension and tightness in your digestive system, which will make you crave the lightening effects of coffee. So make sure you eat until satisfied or eat until 80% full. And another interesting little thing you can try is right nostril breathing. I've not tried this for me, but you can pinch off the left nostril and breathe exclusively through the right nostril for a few minutes each day. This helps create a natural stimulant by increasing oxygen flow, and this may mimic the caffeine effect. It may work for you.
Some of the
There
deep
you go.
breathing exercises can work. And I want to add another one in there. So if you are feeling tired and trying to cut caffeine and you're running low, your K27, so your K27 points, this is an energy meridian. It's just on your chest, like kind of like below your collarbone here. And okay, we're going to go back to cave days here. You know how monkeys Here we go with our evolution, right? Yes. Monkeys will pound when they're getting all their testosterone, and I am, king of the jungle. I don't think that's the lion, but if you pound on your K27 energy meridian lines, it will wake you up and it will give you a boost. Yes. So if you can stand up and then give yourself a little pounding right here.
You may want to do it when you're alone.
I don't recognize or recommend that you do this, if you're at a meeting or if you're in a shared office. Just a minute, I'm feeling a little sleepy, but it does work and it will wake you up. And even if you just rub like around here, so your K27 points are right here, and that will give you a natural energy boost. So, and of course your deep breaths, right? Like just get your breathing on, and it will, it's providing more oxygen to your brain and your nervous system and waking you up.
Yeah. And to be honest, try it all, try a few of them, whatever, but you have to get over that hump, and it may take a few weeks. And that's the only thing I can suggest, is because if you are somebody that drinks a pot of coffee every day, it's going to take time. If you're trying to kick the habit. So it won't happen overnight, and it's not going to be pleasant if you do it cold turkey. Some people can do that. But if you don't want those effects, then you can slowly eliminate, and it will take a few weeks, but you'll get there.
If that's something you feel you need to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and one thing that happened to me, I should tell you this, because I used to drink when I moved to Canada over 20 years ago now. I started drinking the Tim Hortons because I was like, Tim Hortons, this is new to me. And I used to be the coffee regular, which was like cream and sugar. But one day it was like literally overnight. I was like, what did they do to this coffee? It's gross. I couldn't figure out. I realized all of a sudden, literally it happened overnight, I didn't like sugar in my coffee. So I said, well, let me try it without sugar. And I'm like, oh my God, this tastes so much better. So that's how I got rid of sugar in my coffee. It took a long time to get rid of the cream. So what I ended up doing was moving from cream to whole milk, and then whole milk for a while. And then I went to like the skim, or not skim, the 2%. And then I went to skim. And then eventually I was able to get rid of the milk, and I just have it black now. And I can't imagine, like I can go to Starbucks and I can have a latte or whatever. And I usually do the oat milk now, but it took me a long time to get the sugar. It was overnight. Cream and milk took me a while. So that's another thing you can try, is if you're just worried about all the stuff in the coffee, but you like your coffee, maybe try giving up the sugar and the cream or the milk, because black coffee actually, as you mentioned, has benefits.
I did I was a double. I was a double queen, and that was a treat, and that was kind of my kickstart, one a day. And, but you're right. Like all of a sudden, Tim Hortons was making me feel sick. Like, and I would do it for months, and then I was like, okay, so I ended up switching my brands. And then I would get, I loved the fake cream before I was a health coach, like the vanilla cream, chemical shitstorm. I was drinking every single day, loved it. And then I started learning about, changing my coffee to stop the heartburn. And then I started with the cinnamon. So the cinnamon in the beans with the drip coffee, that's what got me off of cream and sugar, because the cinnamon with cream and sugar was gross, and I loved it black, and it smelled like Christmas every morning. I was like, this is amazing. And then slowly I just stopped. I think I just got lazy and stopped putting the cinnamon in. And now I just drink it black. But I definitely, every time the heartburn would creep up, again, it took me a while to find the organic coffee. I mean, now it's only organic, but even a couple of years ago, I was suffering from the heartburn. So, but I was still drinking black. I've been on black coffee for many, many years. But I think it was in 2010 that I switched over to the cinnamon in the coffee. And then I went through all the different brands. So it's been a coffee journey. I think this is why I'm so passionate. We wanted to talk about coffee, is because we've had our trials and tribulations with it, and it's a process, you have to figure out, like, God, do I have to give up coffee? But for me, it was just the heartburn, where I know some people get the jitters, like it's really jittery, they can't sleep, or it's really, and honestly, like I can't drink a coffee. I like to have 2 a day, one in the morning and then one about 2. But if I pass that 2 o'clock threshold, forget it. I will not drink coffee, because it'll keep me up. So it does affect me, like not right away. It gives me that little boost, but some afternoons I need it, not every afternoon.
And I think, if you don't have a problem with whatever you do, then do you, right? It's not that we're saying don't do it or whatever. If you like your double or whatever, then that's fine. But if you are having issues or you're having trouble sleeping at night, you may want to consider looking at it because, it just even coffee has a half-life of, well, I call it half-life, but it'll stay in your system for up to like 12 hours.
Yes.
So if you have, like Katrina, you have your coffee at 2, you're not really getting it out of your system until 2 a.m. So if you find you're having trouble falling asleep, then it's like, well, I did have that coffee at 2 o'clock. Some people gets out sooner, some people it takes longer. Now I know for my system, just digestion, it takes 24 hours. I've learned that. So I don't know about my bloodstream. And that's another thing that I'm eventually want to talk about too, is the alcohol in your bloodstream. I had no idea, but when you put stuff into your bloodstream, it can take upwards of 24 hours to get out of your system.
Yes.
So
yes.
caffeine's
Takes a
one
while.
of those things. Alcohol's another one of those things, right? Where you may go out on a bender, I'm going to go off topic, but you go on a bender and then, you drive the next day, you can actually blow over the limit. I had no idea. It's crazy.
I do want to talk about that too, because we've talked about, if you have a couple glasses of wine or a bottle of wine, then you go to bed and then you wake up and you have really bad sleeps. But in the Chinese medicine, when is your liver cleaning? When is your kidneys cleaning? When are your spleen cleaning? It's all when you're sleeping. And so once you hit that certain o'clock and your body is trying to filter itself and it can't because it's, stuck with this sugar, the sugar alcohols in your system, it will wake you up. And a lot of us will have interrupted sleep and sweats. Like if you stop drinking, the night sweats stop. But then if you add that wine, then you're going to wake up drenched in sweat. Yes, it's premenopausal, but alcohol definitely plays a factor in there. But that'll be another day.
That's a whole nother thing that we'll talk about as perimenopausal women. But or for me, it could be menopausal. I had a hysterectomy. I have no idea what I am now. So I don't know.
We're somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, but we can relate.
Yes. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this on your coffee. So you do you. That's the message of the day.
Yep.
All right. Bye.
See you guys.